she would come out, she would bless all of Mother Earth in that beautiful way. And so that song there, composed off of just my father's storytelling, and then kind of close my eyes and visualize these different stories, and I wonder how it would actually sound. I wonder how that story came to life through music. And so I'd like to share another instrument with you here. This is one of the flutes that I made with my father, and it's a very soft, very gentle instrument. And so I'm gonna just double check here and see if we're in the right key. This particular flute, it's starting to kind of splinter here and there. It's a river cane flute. It's one of the flutes that I made. Me and my father, we harvest the river cane, and we make the flutes. And so it's a very sensitive instrument. So it already has a little bit of bandage you see here, but it's still one of my favorite flutes to use. My most simple flute as well. I'm going to share this song with you here, and as I mentioned before, this flute is very sensitive, so I already know for a fact that the wind's going to take some of the notes away, but I really want to share this particular river cane flute. Me and my father, we harvest the river cane. Usually it's around late springtime or so, before it gets too hot, and we go over to the Gan Bridge and we harvest the river cane. My father, he'll tell me, he'll say, he'll point and say, this one, and this one. He'll point to the top of them. They have a little fluff on the top, and my dad calls it a flag. And he says, this one, and this one. And then he sends me into the thicket of river cane. And so I make my way through the river cane, and I find the one, I shake it. And then he says, no, not that one, the next one. I keep going down the line until I find the right one that he's talking about, and then cut them down, and then we take that bundle back to my grandfather's house and we segment them out. And so that's where this individual actual flute came from. And me and my father, we don't really sell flutes. We make them for workshops for children, and we teach flute playing and the importance of having that respect for the women of our communities. Is why the flute was used in that way. And so this comes from one of the batch of the flutes that we made, and I just really like the sound of this one in particular. And so it's a nice soft little flute, and the song I'm going to share with you right now is actually the title track of our latest album called Singing Lights. So hope you enjoy the song here called Singing Lights. It talks about the creation of the stars. As I mentioned before, my father would tell me when the sun goes down and sets to the western doorway, and then Grandmother Moon, she comes out and she blesses all of life with the beautiful light of wisdom. But they say at certain times, Grandmother Moon, she becomes tired. She becomes very tired and very weary. And at that time, a long time ago during creation, when all the little animals were just starting to find their paths, when all the little animals of the night were starting to hunt for their families, when that sun would go down, all the little animals of the night would greet Grandmother Moon with that prayer, and then they would go upon their day. But at that particular time, when Grandmother Moon got tired, she started to become smaller, until pretty soon she was half of what she started off as. Then as time went on, then she became a quarter of what she started off as. And then pretty soon she was just a small little sliver of what she started off as. And it was at that time that my father would tell me that all the little animals of the night would get lost. They would kind of find their way around, and they would bump into one another, and they would lose their trail home. And so all the little animals of the night, the little night creatures, they went and they gathered around the small little riverbed. And they gathered there and they started to pray to the Creator. As they prayed to the Creator, they say the Creator landed before them and told them, since they came in a good way with a good offering, that he was going to listen to what they had to say. And so they told him that they love Grandmother Moon, but when she becomes tired, they lose their way home. And so the Creator, being very wise, he had his staff, his magic staff that he always carried with him, and he dipped that staff into the water, and he started to swirl the water around and around and around. The faster he swirled the water around, the more the little stones at the bottom of that river, of that water, started to glow. Beautiful colors of yellow, of orange, of green. These beautiful magic stones. And And then the Creator grabbed all these stones into his hands and told all the little animals that these are going to be the new lights that are going to be placed in the night sky. And that when Grandmother Moon becomes tired, these little tiny, what we now call stars, they're going to sing. And they're going to sing beautiful songs up into the night sky. They're going to be so far away that we can't hear those songs, but we can see them by the twinkling of their lights. And so these are going to be the new creation to help out Grandmother Moon when she becomes tired. And I'd sit back and my father would tell me the story, and I love listening to the story of how the stars were created at night. And so this is a song that came from that story, and an Apache calling the stars the singing lights. So hope you enjoy the song here called the Singing Lights.